has invited the Western Kenya region to partner with Mount Kenya to form a single coalition ahead of 2027.
The politicians who spoke in Kakamega also called for the release of those abducted, saying freedom of speech and expression is protected under the Constitution.
For the first time in months, Rigathi Gachagua returned to Kakamega County on Sunday, this time, however, as a former deputy president for a charm offensive. Gachagua inviting the Western Kenya region for a political partnership with Mount Kenya ahead of the 2027 polls.
Mimi nimekuja kusema watu ya Western tunatafuta marafiki. Huyu Kilio Malala, huyu Eugene Wamalwa, Bwana Natembea, muna viongozi wa kutosha wa kuongoza jamii yenu, mkuje kwa meza ya Kenya, muungane na Wakenya wengine, tukiweko watu ya mulima.
While embracing the call, DAPK party leader Eugene Wamalwa and former Kakamega Senator Cleophas Malala, among other leaders, say the region must unite and forge a common destiny.
Ndio sababu leo tukiwa Kakamega, tuataka tukaribishe Rigathi Gachagua, tumwambie karibu Igbo, karibu Western. Kakamega is part of Kenya. You are a Kenyan and you are welcome here. Karibu Bwana Gachagua.
Mimi ni last born wa Murima na niliambiwa na watu wa Murima lazima nitafutie Rigiji marafiki. Clio alipotuambia ya kwamba ako na tournament, tukasema tutakuja.
Tushikane pamoja na wewe Clio, mshikane hapa kama wavuvi wa pweza, bale mbele tutakutana mwambani.
The politicians decried that days after the president vowed to crack down on abductions, the victims are yet to be released.
Wale ambao walikuwa wametekwa nyara hawajaachiliwa waende nyumbani.
Gachagua, however, said the freedom of speech and expression via digital media platforms must be protected.
Lakini hamwezi amua Kenya itakaa namna gani kwa simu peke yake. Lazima mchukue vitambulisho, lazima mjiandikishe kama wapiga kura.
The leaders also condemned the Saturday fracas in Nyandarua County, asking the Inspector General of Police to initiate a conclusive probe on the matter. Give us in mind, Sunday Express.
Social media has transformed communication, but its darker sides, such as cyberbullying, data misuse, privacy breaches, and misinformation, has sparked concerns.
The thin line between its benefits and dangers is now a key debate in the country, with Principal Secretary Devolution Teresia Mbaika adding to the growing list of leaders calling for responsible use of the platform.
Mbaika, who was in Makueni County, has cautioned the young against spreading misinformation, urging them to also highlight the government's positive contributions, such as the rollout of the Social Health Authority.
The jury is still out on whether the benefits of social media outweigh its challenges if the current debate on the use of these platforms in the country is anything to go by. In recent days, a cross-section of leaders have called for the responsible use of social media platforms.
It is through the social media that we get information as public. So that is how crucial the social media is. But unfortunately, this good platform, instead of it being used in a responsible way to change the life of Kenyans in terms of development and information, it is being misused.
The latest to join the calls for proper use of the platforms is the Principal Secretary for Devolution, Teresia Mbaika. Speaking during a tour of Makueni County, the PS emphasized the importance of promoting accurate information about the government initiatives.
We call upon the young people because of the social media. It is very easy to spread a falsehood, but it takes so much time to spread some good news. So because of that, I thought it is good now that everybody is at home. We have our people who can do this better than we do. We talk to them to also equip them with the right information.
Meanwhile, security expert Major retired Hussein Abshiro has challenged Kenyans to use social media professionally, even as they demand accountability from the government.
Social media is superb. It's a platform that can see this country forward. Come to its other side, misuse. the way it is important when used responsibly is the way it is dangerous when it is misused. Use that energy of yours to intercept your country at the right place so that you join the leadership. Don't destroy.
Apshiro says the online platform, if used responsibly, has the potential to contribute positively to development, even as he cautioned the youth against being used by the political class to spread misinformation on the platform for political expediency.
I would like to urge our leaders, especially the politicians, whenever you want to open your mouth, commit your brain. To commit your brain, think about the nation. Don't think about yourself. That way, you become responsible, and your child, your son to come, will benefit from that stand of yours as a leader.
Former Migori County woman representative Danita Gati has expressed interest in vying for the county's Senate position in the 2027 general elections.
Gati, who ran for the county Member of Parliament position on an ODM ticket in the previous general election, but lost to independent candidate Fatuma Mohammed, believes she has the necessary experience to secure the Senate position.
Danita Gati says the Kuria community in Migori County has not been represented in any significant elective position for 2 terms since 2017, despite the negotiated democracy agreement. She has now declared that she will go for the county Senate position in 2027.
I've had the opportunity to know what it means, having served in the lower house in the National Assembly. I have been able to know what it means to be able to push and represent the interests of the county at the national level. I served as women rep, why now Senate? It is because in every stage of life, you have to move from stage A to stage B.
Danita Gati served as the Migori woman representative in an Orange Democratic Movement ticket between 2013 and 2017. She was then nominated to represent persons with disabilities after she suffered a broken spine following a road accident in 2014 that left her permanently disabled. Tilio Marco for Sunday Express.
From further afield, 179 people have been confirmed dead following a plane crash at Muan International Airport in South Korea.
The Boeing 737-800 flight operated by airline Jeju Air had 181 persons on board, including 6 flight staff, and was arriving from Bangkok, Thailand.
2 flight crew members survived the incident.
Now, President William Ruto has sent a message of condolence following the accident.
Minutes after 9 a.m. South Korean time on Sunday, tragedy struck. A Jeju airplane carrying 181 people from Thailand to South Korea crashed on landing, smashing into a barrier at Muan International Airport, 288 kilometers southwest of Seoul, and bursting into flames, leaving 179 dead and only 2 survivors, according to South Korean National Fire Agency. Authorities confirmed that all of the passengers were Korean, apart from 2 Thai nationals, with the youngest a 3-year-old boy and the oldest 78-year-old.
We are presuming the cause of the accident to be a bird strike or deteriorating weather conditions, and the exact cause will be determined by a further forensic and joint investigation.
Jeju Air has since apologized, with top officials shown bowing at a press conference in Seoul and vowed to do all it could to help.
Firstly, I bow in apology to everyone who's cherished Jeju Air. Above all, I want to give my sincere apology and condolences to those who've lost their lives in the accident and their families. At the moment, it's hard to presume the cause of the accident, and we have to wait for the official investigation result from the authorities.
Boeing said in a statement that it was in touch with Jeju Air and stood ready to support them. South Korea's acting president Choi Sang-mok, who only took office Friday, convened an emergency cabinet meeting and then visited the crash site at Muan. Meanwhile, President William Ruto has expressed his devastation following the accident. In a message of comfort, the president wrote on social media, and I quote, "Our thoughts are with the victims' families and the people of South Korea at this sorrowful time. End of quote. Joseph Ohungu for Sunday Express.
Well, it's time now for our very first break, but we beseech you to stay with us because there's plenty more on the other side.
See you soon.
Star 570 hash. Option 1 kuna PS5 na ni full package na inakuja na JBL Party Box. Hiyo boom experience pia iko.
This festive season, let the joy of togetherness fill your hearts and homes. Celebrate responsibly and make memories that last a lifetime. Choose activities that bring happiness and health. Avoid alcohol and drugs in this festive season. We're working together to ensure everyone's safety. Report illegal alcohol and drug activities in your area. This festive season, let's protect what matters most, our lives and those we love. Celebrate responsibly.
This is my husband. It's John Dennis. Him and I were involved in a road traffic accident. All I remember is hearing brakes and a crash. My husband was on the floor of the matatu with one hand hanging to one seat and he was unconscious. So I tried calling him and hitting him until he woke up. So when he woke up, he told me, I can't feel my legs. The doctor came in, Dr. Okanga, and he told us Dennis will never be able to walk again. It broke me because he's been my husband for what? 12 years. Psychologically, I am not fine. I'm doing counseling. Being a primary caregiver is not easy.
Slow down. Speeding ruins lives.
So I want to urge all Kenyans, follow the rules, follow the guidelines provided for by the traffic department, and we will be able to reach our destinations on time. Otherwise, I want to take this opportunity to wish Kenyans Happy New Year of 2025. Everything that they will do, let them know that it can only be done in moderation.
Welcome back. The body of Feni Onyonka, a middle-aged woman, was found in the home of her alleged lover at the Mogonga Trading Center in Kisii County, raising questions about the cause of her death.
Dennis Machuki, her alleged boyfriend, claims he left to buy charcoal and soap from the shopping center, only to return and discover her lifeless body.
Despite reports that Onyonka had a history of epilepsy, her family has denied these claims, demanding a thorough investigation.
These were the scenes outside the house of Dennis Machuki. Residents gathered following the discovery of the lifeless body of Feni Onyonka in his house, hours after he left the house reportedly to buy soap and charcoal from the nearby shopping center.
Sasa nimeenda kazi nimefanya, nimesema hii pesa nimelipa sinunue makaa na sabuni. Nimefika hapa, nimepita hapo nimepata nasi wako. Au kufika kwa nyumba, mwanamke ako chini kuulizia, wananiambia ati anakufanga kifafa.
Residents claim Feni had a history of epilepsy which they say could have been the cause of death.
Kifafa na anakufanga juu tumekuwa na yeye icon kufa almost mara 3.
Her family, however, denied she was epileptic and are demanding thorough investigations into the cause of her death.
Na tuchaisikia ripoti yoyote atfeni ni mgonjwa. Hiyo ni kusangaa sana, tumesangaa. Sasa tunaomba tu akitendeke tu ionekane tujue kifo ya hii mtoto yangu. Hata hiyo ugonjwa inasemekana huyu mtoto hatujawahi kusikia ako na hiyo ugonjwa. Sasa hii ni kusituka sana.
The body of the deceased, who lives behind a 16-year-old son, was ferried by the police to a Gembo Sub-County Hospital morgue. Isufar reporting for Sunday Express.
In the heart of Kenya's capital, Nairobi, the Kenya National Archives houses a captivating collection of African heritage.
Its crown jewel is a Murumbi gallery named after Joseph Murumbi, Kenya's second vice president and a passionate art collector.
The gallery showcases artifacts that link the continent's past and present.
Among its hidden treasures is a collection of Kisii soapstone carvings, including a rare gem from Sierra Leone and an unexpected connection uniting two distant lands through history and art.
Our reporter Rodney Mboa brings the story of the Kenya National Archives to life.
Welcome to the Kenya National Archives, a place which has been in existence since 1965. To many, this is just a meeting spot in the Nairobi's CBD. But do you know what it holds and its importance to Africa's heritage? Come along and let me show you. Tucked in Nairobi's central business district, the Kenya National Archives is considered a city landmark. Whether you're traveling from upcountry or just meeting friends in the heart of the city, its strategic location makes it the perfect rendezvous point. Millions have crisscrossed outside this building for over 5 decades. But what secrets lie within this iconic structure that has stood tall for the last 59 years? We sought to answer this question and ventured into the Kenya National Archives.
Let me take this opportunity to welcome Kenya Broadcasting Corporation at Kenya National Archives and Documentation Service.
Inside, away from the scorching sun, we discover a hidden treasure trove of African heritage that tells us the story of this iconic building, the Murumbi Gallery. It is a vibrant space that weaves together a tale of African art, history, and identity. On display are artworks, jewelry, traditional clothing, carvings, sculptures, and manuscripts from Kenya and across the continent.
This is Murumbi's Corner, the man behind every collections that are here. So Murumbi was a lover of art. He dedicated his life in collecting these artifacts. Murumbi also collected some books, rare books that are housed in our National Documentation and Retrieval Service. So there was an MOU that was written whereby where the record, the Murumbi's books are, these artifacts must also be placed there for general public view. So this artifact depicts the culture.
Amidst this collection of artifacts, one piece stands out, the Kisii soapstone carvings. They are not just pieces of art, they are a symbol of cultural resilience and a shared heritage. What piques our interest, though, is that these carvings trace their roots back to Sierra Leone, revealing a fascinating untold historical link with Kenya.
Here is the Kisii soapstone from Kenya. We have a tribe also in Sierra Leone, the Kisii of Sierra Leone. They are also good in sculpturing using the Kisii stone. So these are plates, but not just metallic plates, but they are plates made of Kisii stone.
The Kisii soapstone, locally known as chiguare, is prized for its fine texture and malleability. These carvings, which are a hallmark of the Kisii community in Kenya, are also found in Sierra Leone, where another Kisii community is reported to reside. The ancestral ties between the Kisii community in Kenya and their counterparts in Sierra Leone remain a subject of interest to history lovers.
As I mentioned earlier, that we also have a sub-tribe or community that is called Kisii from Sierra Leone. their best stone covers. So this Kisii stone, this one was designed by Elkanah Ogesa. So as you can see, there is a hen or a chick trying to come out from the shell. So this depicts the political, the struggle to independence, the challenges that we faced when we were fighting for independence.
Joseph Murumbi, Kenya's second vice president post-independence and a champion of African heritage, is credited with amassing a tapestry of artifacts from across the continent to preserve Africa's rich history. Among the collection of Kisii soapstone carvings is a fascinating piece from Sierra Leone, where the craft is equally revered.
So this is a Kisii stone, to be specific, Kisii stone from Sierra Leone. So there is a sub-tribe in Sierra Leone that are called Kisii. They are talented carvers. So this is an artifact that depicts the power of a tongue. It is a small organ, but it can cause more harm to the community or to the community. So this Kisii stone, to be specific, in Sierra Leone, it is referred to as pondo.
The Kisii soapstones from Sierra Leone and Kenya symbolize a deeper connection, transcending geographical borders to celebrate a shared culture and heritage. As our tour wraps up, it dawns on us that the Kenya National Archives is more than just a city landmark. It is a fusion of the past and present, art, culture, and African heritage. The Murumbi Gallery is indeed a testament to Africa's interconnectedness. The soapstones, whether from Kenya or Sierra Leone, reminds us of our shared stories that unite us as a continent. I'm Rodney Mbua, reporting for KBC Channel 1.
Well done, Rodney, for that beautiful story.
Now that we have Kisii in Sierra Leone.
Yes. We go far. And as we bid farewell to another remarkable year, that is 2024, let us take a moment to reflect on the captivating stories that unfolded in the segment Cinemas and Theatre, a weekly feature that focuses on locally produced films and stage drama.
Here is Jacqueline Masharia.
What a year this has been, 2024. From the first week of January and every other week, we brought you a review of locally produced films and theatre plays. This in the segment Cinemas and Theatre with me, Jacqueline Masharia. And as the curtain now falls on the year 2024, we take a look at some of the reviews, beginning with the play In Sickness and in Health.
When she started developing symptoms of pancreatic cancer, that cheapskate of a man is the one who took her to some cheap hospital. And that is why she got misdiagnosed.
The most important thing about this play is the sensitization that has been put into the humor. The idea of telling people to get cancer screening on time. We talk about cancer, but we do not talk about cancer the way we need to talk about cancer.
Maybe she would still be here with us and not buried in her grave.
Set against the backdrop of Mau Mau rebellion, we reviewed the film Wamaitha, which tells the hidden stories of women fighters who bravely made their mark in history. Take a look.
I realized that a lot of our history, especially stories around Mau Mau and the British colonial rule in Kenya, is very, very distorted. The history that we get is extremely edited.
Once a Mau Mau, always a bloody Mau Mau.
Child marriage remains a significant challenge in society. This harmful practice has deprived countless girls of their education and childhood, while also exposing them to increased risks of domestic violence and higher rates of maternal and infant mortality due to early pregnancies. The film Nawi, which is shot and produced in Turkana County, delved into the complex issue of child marriage, following the journey of a young girl named Nawi as she bravely resists this age-old tradition.
Dear future me, I'm sure Nairobi is waiting for you.
Many Nawis in our villages that have dreams, but these dreams are suppressed by culture. And the idea around this movie is to really bring this voice up so that the international community can come in solidarity with these young girls in these remote villages, support them, empower them, and give them opportunity to achieve their dreams.
My biggest dream is to have a voice when I grow up.
The arid landscapes of Laikipia County have become the boiling pot of conflict between pastoralists and farmers, driven by the devastating effects of prolonged drought. We reviewed the film Searching for Money, a documentary that follows the story of Simon Ali, a young boy from Laikipia County whose life has been deeply affected by this conflict.
Joto wengi anasema tu ni peace, pia mimi nilimjua kwa alikuwa peacemaker.
Most of the time in the news, we do see what's happening in those areas. We lose people. It's very many per day, of course. And we are not so focused about that. Ourselves, we are just enjoying, visiting, we're looking at the animals, but we never, we don't concentrate much on the ones who are protecting those animals. What I want the film to portray, first of all, it's unity and also understanding.
The film It's a Free Country focuses on friends who find themselves on the run after a heist takes a deadly turn. Pursued by a ruthless politician and his equally dangerous wife, they will need to outsmart their adversaries and stay one step ahead to survive. I had a sit-down with John Jumbi, the film director, and here was what he said about creating the film. Take a look.
Katika kitambu cha Isaiah,
we prepared for It's a Free Country all the way from 2022. But it's interesting enough that some of the themes in the movie are actually relevant with the current happenings in the country, where we do have young people speaking or trying to resist oppressive leadership.
Kuna mtu yeyote ambaye yuko na information, apige report mara moja.
In 2024, we also reviewed the film Sketchy Africans, directed by Vincent Mbaya, which focuses on a desperate entrepreneur pushed by family expectations and business struggles. She teams up with her friend, a debt-ridden theatre director, to fake an engagement and sham dowry ceremony to secure much-needed cash.
Kuambia ukweli hamtaniamini. Hii ni ratio.
Filming was quite quick. It was 14 days, which was very quick. Post-production was also very quick, something I think I'll change on my next film. We had just a month, about a month and a half of post-production.
Well, that is how the year 2024 looked like in matters, cinemas and theatre. We commit to carry on with the weekly segment in 2025. May you have yourself a prosperous and happy 2025.
Christmas ni sahi ishafika na ni kubwa kubwa. Kweli? Hii Kisii ni bomba na Blue Santa kupitia star 570 hash option 1. Rudia. Star 570 hash option 1. Iko PlayStation 5 na 55 inch TV na iko 500,000 Kenyan shillings. Na mbuzi moja? Na mbuzi. 1 million Kenyan shillings na Samsung S24 Ultra. Na kuzifanya? Iko 2 million Kenyan shillings na iPhone 16 Pro Max. Na mwezi mbili. Blue Santa amekuja na zawadi kibao. Nani kubwa kubwa? Hapa kuna ndogo ndogo. Hapa Christmas ni bomba.
Technology has become a crucial part of our society. Without technological advancements, so much of our everyday lives would be drastically different. As technology develops, it strives to fulfill the changing needs of society. This means that technology exists to help us achieve the things that we wouldn't be able to achieve without it. Take on Tech looks at the advantages and downside of technological innovation in a world that is becoming increasingly dependent on new digital technologies. Every Monday at 10:30 p.m.
Welcome back. Rice and maize farmers from Kwale County will benefit from the Wanga Machame irrigation project in Vanga location, Lunga sub-county.
The initiative aims to irrigate 1,211 acres, benefiting an equal number of farmers and creating an estimated 6,000 jobs directly and indirectly.
Key components include river training works, intake structures and a network of canals essential for water conveyance.
Now, in an exclusive interview with the Principal Secretary, State Department for Irrigation, Ephantus Kimotho, our reporter Abdiaziz Hashim highlights the status of the project and how the community has embraced it to boost food security in the country.
Irrigation system that is set to benefit not just the farmers residing in this particular area, but many households, residents who are living here in Kwale County, and of course what is the status update of various other projects within the country in terms of the private initiated projects within this particular devolved unit. Joining us is none other than the Principal Secretary, State Department for Irrigation, that is Mr. CPA, that is Ephantus Kimotho. PS, thank you for joining us. Thank you. And maybe we start at PS. Give us an outlook of where we are right now. How crucial is this irrigation system to the community here in Lunga Lunga?
Okay, thank you. This irrigation scheme is called Wanga Machame irrigation scheme. Is going to put 1,200 acres into rice production. One season we do rice, the other season we do maize. So it's going to be a critical irrigation scheme towards addressing the issue of rice, especially in this county, Kwale County. On average, 1 acre will be giving you approximately 2.8 metric tons. So 1,000 acres will give you at least 2,800 metric tons per season, which is a lot of rice. Yeah.
And you know this current administration that you're currently serving has been banking on PPPs, especially in such mega projects that are being carried, especially just like the Wanga Machame irrigation scheme. So how crucial is PPPs to such kind of projects?
Yes, for such a project, you know, PPP is whereby is a public-private partnership. In such a project, we look at two issues in terms of private interventions. One is the aggregator, that is the off-taker. Once the farmers do the rice, we get an aggregator who is an off-taker, who mainly will like working with the private sector, who will actually come and give an off-take guarantee, and that will encourage the farmers to actually even do more production. Then also we are looking at an operator. An operator is the person who will be helping in the management of water here and there. So those are the two key interventions when it comes to private sector engagement. And that enhances efficiency, which also leads to more yield. Yeah.
And of course, you know, in the country right now, there's a lot of misconception that surrounds PPPs. So how crucial and how vital is PPPs to such kind of projects?
Yeah, okay. In the irrigation sector, we actually have a plan, and that plan to irrigate 1 million acres by 2032. And in that plan, we have community irrigation schemes such as this. This is one of the community irrigation schemes. Normally, we target around 40,000 acres per year. This is normally done through government funding, and also part of it do development partners funding. Yeah? But also, we have the large commercial farms, whereby there is where we partner with the big private parties to do under that PPP model. Case in example is Galana Kulami, which is fully owned by the government. We've identified 200,000 acres currently, and for us to be able to do that farming, we've partnered with a private party who's going to come and do production in the 200,000 acres. But for him to do that as well, he needs water, he needs a dam. Again, on the side, we also have gotten a PPP partner who will actually construct a dam. We intend to do a dam which has approximately 350 million cubic meters. And that dam will be done by a private party. And the private party will be expecting some tariffs from the selling of the water. So these are the private parties doing production will be paying the tariffs. So that's how we work. For us, when we come to PPP, we actually get two private parties. One for doing the infrastructure, that is the dam, and one for doing the production. Then the one doing production gives an off-take guarantee for the water, and that way it works very well. And in the process, it helps us achieve our general objective, which is to address the issue of food security, which is to reduce the food imports. Like in Galana Kulalu by itself, if we do put an acre into, for example, production, that alone, 1 acre approximately in 1 year gives you 70 bags. So you're talking about 100 acres, that is 7 million bags. So that goes a long way in bridging the food imports that we have, especially on maize. So, and at the same time, also we end up creating a lot of jobs, a lot of income. So it will actually boost the income. So PPP in irrigation sector, actually, I can say they're actually working to the benefit of the country.
And given that this is a very expansive project, of course, covering over 1,000 acres, what are some of the challenges the administration, in conjunction with the county, might have gone through with the host community, and how do you overcome?
Some of the challenges when you're doing such a project is actually getting well leaves. Because like now, where we are right now, to get to the farm is 4 kilometers. So you find that to get to the well leaves, at times is a challenge. But the people use the water and the downstream. And that we work closely with the county commissioner, with the chiefs, and they're able to explain to them, and they're able to give us. That is normally one of the biggest challenges at times we normally have, getting those well leaves. Otherwise, without that's mainly, I can say, is actually the main challenge in such a large infrastructure.
Apologies for that technical hitch in Matters Sound. Time now for a second break, but stay with us because sports news is after this. Stay with us.
Technology has become a crucial part of our society. Without technological advancements, so much of our everyday lives would be drastically different. As technology develops, it strives to fulfill the changing needs of society. This means that technology exists to help us achieve the things that we wouldn't be able to achieve without it. Take on Tech looks at the advantages and downside of technological innovation in a world that is becoming increasingly dependent on new digital technologies. Every Monday at 10:30 p.m.
A very good evening to you. My name is Daniel Wahome and welcome to Easy Sunday Sport. Now, the Cabinet Secretary for Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sport, Salim Mvurya, has reiterated the government's commitment in nurturing and developing talent through the construction of sports facilities. Mvuria has hit the ground running in his sports docket, promising to redouble the government's efforts to not only catch up but also be on the same footing with other sports countries with state-of-the-art facilities. The CS revealed that the government has set aside 1.7 billion shillings for the construction of 37 pilot constituency sports academies across the country. As preparations for the African Nations Championships CHAN slated for February gather pace, the CS affirmed the government's commitment in ensuring Kenya's readiness to co-host the championship as planned.
Katika ruwaza ya Rais Daktari William Samoei Ruto ni hii michezo iweze kuwasaidia vijana wetu, wasichana na wavulana, ili waweze kutumia mchezo na talanta zao, waweze kupata ajira na waweze kupata hela.
Talanta inalipa hata kuliko kazi. Mimi na imani ningekuwa ni mchezaji wa Manchester City, sidhani kama ningekuwa hapa Kwale saa hizi. Si ndio? Niko hapa kwa sababu siwezi hiyo kazi. Lakini talanta wanalipwa kuliko sisi.
Harambee Stars interim head coach Francis Kimanzi believes the Mapinduzi Cup will give him and the technical bench a good opportunity to get players ahead of the final 2024 CHAN team selection. Elsewhere, Soy United and Kimangeti Queens are the champions of the 6th edition of the Karamoja Super Cup in Kakamega County.
Speaking after day 2 training, Kimanzi stated that his long-term focus is on preparing a strong squad for the African Nation Championship, even as the side gets ready for the upcoming Mapinduzi Cup early next year. Kimanzi, who was appointed by the Football Kenya Federation last week to step in as the interim national team head coach, led an extended 37-man provisional squad for the second training session today at the M-Pesa Foundation Academy.
It's quite motivating, inspiring and enjoyable. So yeah, there's potential. Of course, there's things that needs to be worked on, but yeah, that's the joy of being a goalkeeper coach, and that's the joy of coming every day to the training pitch.
Meanwhile, Soy United edged out home side Samitsi FC 1-0 in a closely fought out encounter to be crowned champions of the 6th edition of the Karamoja Super Cup. Kimangeti Queens saw off Luandeti Iron Ladies 2-0 in the ladies category to bag the women's title. Following the triumph, Soy United took home $500,000 as Kimanget Ladies bagged 250,000 Kenya shillings, with the runners-up teams Samitsi and Luandeti Iron Queens receiving 250,000 Kenya shillings and 100,000 shillings respectively.
Now, 2024 was a phenomenal season for Kenyan athletes in major international championships, despite having its fair share of challenges as well. The highlight of the season was Beatrice Chebet's stellar performance, retaining her world cross-country title, breaking the 10,000 meters world record, and winning 2 Olympic gold medals in the 5,000 and 10,000 meters at the Paris Olympic Games as the Kenyan women stole the show. Barclay Feather has got that story.
Kenya staged the 5th Cape Keino Classic Continental Tour at the Nyayo National Stadium on 20th April 2024, with Abraham Kibiwott reclaiming the 3,000 meter steeplechase title, as home athletes also dominated the 800 meters. Mary Mora and Emmanuel Wanyonyi winning gold medals for women and men, while Mary Ekiru and Reynold Cheriot won the 1,500 meter titles. At the 23rd Africa Senior Athletics Championship in June, Kenya finished second in the medal table, amassing 19 medals, 5 gold, 7 silver and 7 bronze, behind winners South Africa.
I want to start with the major world events, starting with World Cross Country in Serbia, as you put it. We did very well. We practically won every category except maybe the senior men. The overall title also came to Kenya, defending it from Australia that we had the year before. And of course, the most interesting part about it was having the women team, the senior women team, winning the title, and not only winning the title, but going from 1 to number 5, making history. That was the first time a country has gone from number 1 to number 5 in an international event.
Kenya posted good results at the 33rd Olympic Games in Paris, France, finishing 17th overall and first in Africa, with a total of 11 medals, 4 gold, 2 silver and 5 bronze medals, all from athletics. Beatrice Chebet won 2 gold medals, with Faith Kipyegon adding another in the 1500 meters and Emmanuel Wanyonyi in the 800 meters, both ensuring Kenya retained the titles from the Tokyo 2020 edition, with the latter also continuing Kenya's dominance over the race with a 5th gold in a row since 2008.
The women's side in this country is doing better than the men, so we are now focusing on both so that we don't miss on the gender issue, focusing mainly on the women and forgetting about the men. So those are the highlights, especially the Olympics, the cross country, and then of course now the youth. And that is now gives us the prediction of what we can do for the future. As cross country now moves towards to the end, the last series on the 4th of January, we are now looking at what are the areas that we have to strengthen.
The last track and field championship of the year were the World Athletics Under-20 Championship in Lima, Peru, with Kenya finishing in 5th place with 3 gold, 3 silver and a bronze. Kenyans did exceptionally well in road running across different cities in the world in 2024. 2019 world champion Ruth Chepngetich smashed the women's marathon world record at the Chicago Marathon in October.
It's not about the medals only. When you look at the events our athletes competing, we have also an opportunity now for our athletes to win prizes. That helps also in earning the foreign currency. If you calculate the number of winnings that our athletes has and what is generated for this country as income, it is amazing. But you see, we have not looked at that in the business or financial side to understand and appreciate what the team of athletes or our athletes and the coaches have done for this nation.
On the flip side, Kenya failed to recapture the 3,000-meter men's title at the Olympics. The country also lost several athletes, both retired and active, the major shock being the death of men's marathon world record holder Kelvin Kiptum through a tragic road accident.
We have the capacity to maintain our running, and I've seen our athletes can always pull through even when they face challenges and difficult times, but there are people from this country that are extremely determined to achieve their goals despite some kind of limitation that they might be going through.
Several championships are lined up for next year, key being the World Athletics Championship in Tokyo, Japan in September.
And moving on is our favorite City Young FC and Milo FC have qualified for the final of DRM football games after winning their respective semi-finals played today at the Halala Primary School grounds in Webuye. Nakwana Starlets and Young Starlets will meet in the women's final.
An impressive 90 minutes performance saw Sitiko Young FC book a place in the final of this year's DRM football tournament after beating Flyover FC 2-0 in the semi-final tie played at the Halala Primary School in Webuye. They will play Milo FC, who also progressed to the final after narrowly beating Chebosi FC 2-1 in the second semi-final. Nakwana Starlets defeated Mwangaza Starlets 3-1 on penalties to secure a place in the women final against Young Starlets, who beat Musananda Queens 3-2 in the other semi-final.
This tournament has brought together, young people, talented young people in their thousands, uniting diverse, communities around here. We are seeing young people channel their energy into teamwork, discipline, and leadership. It's more than just, a game or sporting event, but it's transforming, the young people's lives, and it's a platform that we've created for hope and opportunity.
The tournament, set to end on 1st January 2025, will also see volleyball group stage matches being played from December 30th, with the enthusiasm surrounding the tournaments highlighting the community's commitment to fostering talent and providing a platform for youth development in both sports and technology. A coalition of stakeholders from the tech and education sectors urged the youth to cultivate their talents in sports and technology, emphasizing the importance of continued engagement beyond the December holidays.
As we move forward, we are excited to expand the tournament's reach and deepen its impact. It's not just a sports initiative. It's a movement that you're trying to create, a celebration of potential, and a commitment, towards uplifting communities through action.
Inua AI CEO Humphrey Muchuma highlighted the role of sports in fostering societal values and driving development when nurtured effectively. Muchuma praised the local youth for their enthusiasm in exploring artificial intelligence, noting that the digital technologies are poised to create numerous career opportunities in the country.
Beyond the games, local economies are thriving, such as vendors that you see around, transport services, even small businesses benefit from this kind of events.
Winners of the DRM December Games will receive cash prizes.
Now moving on, the defending champions Manchester City secured their only second win in 10 English Premier League matches after scrapping a 2-0 win over Leicester City at the King Power Stadium. Savinho and Erling Haaland scored the two vital goals for Pep Guardiola's side. Meanwhile, in Italy, Napoli moved level on 41 points in the Serie A leaders Atalanta after beating Venezia by a goal to nil, while Torino came from 2 goals down to draw 2-2 with Udinese.
And the final score here, the Blue
And that's the sport for tonight. Just an update on the English Premier League. We know that Manchester City won by 2 goals to nil. Crystal Palace got a 2-1 win over Southampton. Nottingham Forest 2-0 winners over Everton. Fulham and Bournemouth drew 2-2. Tottenham Hotspur 2-2 against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Meanwhile, Liverpool running riot against West Ham, 4-0 up, 9 minutes to go in regulation time. My name is Daniel Wahome. Thank you for being with us in the year 2024. And next week someone's there, and 2025 will be back, and it's going to be busy as usual. Back to Edmund and Regina.
Well, Regina, that was a bulletin with a difference.
Indeed, being the last Sunday of 2024.
It's been a pleasure. What about tomorrow? Where will you be?
Now, tomorrow, whether Kenyans take to the streets as per the notification by human rights groups to try and force government to just maybe do something about the alleged abductions, whether they show up or not, as journalists, you can bet we'll be there.
Yes, we'll be there. But tonight, it's time for us to say asante sana, kwaheri. My name is Edmund Mudibo.
And I am Regina. Manyara, our colleague on sign language, has been none other than Byron Abuli. Happy holidays and a happy 2025.
Yes, stay well, stay safe. God bless.